Okay. Hello, Rosa. How are you?
Fine.
Okay,
Very nice.
try to go to full presentation.
Okay.
Perfect, perfect.
And now I start sharing. Okay.
Yes, very good. Rosa, voy a empezar, no sé cómo están las cosas allí, pero
Bien, perfecto.
tenemos 12 personas en sala de espera, los voy a dejar pasar, ¿eh?
Sí, 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 empieza.
Good morning, please. stretch the links between the people and to talk about the ways that the human beings connected the different parts of the planet, traveling on Earth and on the sea. And now I invite the NASE president, Rosa Maria Ros, to explain a bit more this activity and this new way to establish connection between different countries in an hybrid event. Rosa?
Yes, in this occasion, it is 500 years of the first turn around the world. And we decided to organize a special session talking about the activities developed here in the face-to-face final event of latitude, traveling, and navigating. Then we have several speakers here and the rest in the rest of the world. Essentially, I would like to show you that astronomy is part of our culture for many, many, many years. Then this is the first presentation that we will have. At the beginning, we are also coordinated with the 100 Astronomy is one project of IAU, and Margarita Metaxa will explain us a little bit, very short, because all the contributions are very short. Thank you very much, and I hope that you enjoy this session.
Okay. Can I start? Beatrice, can I start?
Yes, Margarita, and we can see your presentation on screen.
So, welcome to the NASE Plus seminar and hello from Athens. It's an honor for me to open this unique seminar, which is part of the IU 100 Hours of Astronomy projects of the International Astronomical Union and the Office for Astronomy Outreach. This year, the project, which was created by Rosa Maria Ros and Beatriz Garcia, will remind us the way our ancestors made enormous and important journeys based on astronavigation. Using the stars, the sun, the moon, and other celestial bodies, long-scale journeys saw a huge increase in human discovery and marked the beginning of globalizations. Journeys like the one of Odysseus, the Silk Road, St. James Road, Columbus, the Magellan and Elkhorn journey are all well known. Permit me a last remark about the contemporary importance of astronavigation. The US Naval Academy, due to hostile hacking, has restarted lessons on astronavigation from 2015. As well, Harvard recently has included astronavigation in Astronomy 2 lessons. This is also done by other educational organizations. Many congratulations, Rosa and Beatriz, for always your innovation in educational and in research in astronomy. I wish you all a pleasant seminar and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much, Margarita. And well, I assume we can go to the first presentation. Rosa Rat is.
Yes, the first presentation is Rachel Solomon. She's from Mongolia. She is here in Viladecans in Barcelona in Spain, and she told us about the Mongolia and the Silk Road. Yes, I would like to observe that the special dresses of Solomon. It is a typical Mongol dresses. Thank you, Solomon. Oh, sorry.
good afternoon, everyone. And I am Salman Renchen from the Mongolia, from the National University of Mongolia. Today, I will talk about Mongolian participation in the Silk Road and about Mongolian Silk Road contribution and also NASE activities. So this presentation made jointly with NASE activities with Rosa Maria Rose. So before I start my talk, I would like to introduce a little bit about my country, Mongolia. Mongolia is located in Central Asia. Our country borders in the north with Russia and south in China. So we have a big territory in different landscape and historical. We have lots of historical places regarding Silk Road places. So about NASE activities in Mongolia, as I do outreach activities for NASE in NASE training for NASE activities for Mongolian school teachers and kids and students. So for myself, I teach in the National University of Mongolia and I do outreach activity for astronomical outreach activities for public. So mainly I focus on NASE education in Mongolia. Since NASE proposal latitude for traveling and navigate. This project allow us to participate for Mongolians to share our history and latitude and also some historical information. So here I would like to introduce about our NASE activities in our university and also for schools and also for outreach for public. Especially school teachers are mainly activated in NASE projects. So we have also NASE trainings 3 times in Mongolia with help with Rosa Maria Rose. She once also come and was teaching with our school teachers. So before to be here, we had activities to participate in latitude for traveling and navigating Mongolia. So Mongolia is a huge country, and there are lots. We have different latitudes, longitudes, and the school teachers had some measurements and send us their findings. And we had also online and on-site meetings. How was our latitude measurement and how participation in NASE programs? So from this figure, you can see that some of our activities in Mongolia. So about finding, yesterday I had a very impressive moment. We had also, I had chance to share our findings and during project activities in Barcelona yesterday. We welcomed the school teachers and the school kids from the Barcelona region. We talked and also we shared our countries, some latitude information. It was really interesting. Thank you for organizing such kind of activities. So now I go to my talk about Silk Road information about Mongolia. So Mongolia, you can see from this picture the Silk Road, not only in Mongolia, there are many, of course, there are many Asian countries like, as you see here, Iran, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Mongolia, China, and Persian Gulf countries. So there was different kind of roads of Silk Roads, but mainly this is found from the UNESCO website I took. Silk Road was a network of paths connecting civilizations in East and West since 1,400 years ago. So during Silk Road time that goods transported and using bazaars and caravan used for the Silk Road. And also Silk Road was served as a vehicle for the fruitful exchange of arts, religion, cultures, ideas, and technology. So it also enabled caravans to exchange tangible goods also. So Silk Road always was a good example for some network in that time. And here, Silk Road also opened up means passage for explorers seeking better understand and geography of the East, Far East. For Western countries, it was a very good information about East. For example, you all know the Marco Polo used Silk Road to travel from Italy to China. So on the way, he discovered Silk Road exactly, and that time Silk Road was controlled by Mongolian Empire. Then Mongolian Empire since 1,200 years before. So here, ancient Mongolian Empire figure, and then Mongolian Empire influence on the development of the Silk Road. There's markedly noticed in different books, and historically Mongolian participation noticed. The Mongol Empire played a significant role and influence in the history of Silk Road. The empire was very powerful from 13th and 14th century. It reached highest expansion. This massive geography offered Silk Roads more secure and organized trade through this huge land, and also this empire allowed the Silk Road to flourish, to develop. So example for one of most important example is Genghis Khan Kublai made foreign traders exempt from taxation. So as a result, this exempt of the taxation was very good for the political and security role. And also for in this way, Mongolians were heavily engaged in the Silk Road network. Not only the Mongolians provided frameworks for intercontinental exchange, but facilitated and acted as active agent for the Silk Road movement. One of biggest here, I would like to share about Har-Horen city. It is Har-Horen city, one of the biggest and most important city during Silk Road time. Har-Horon is now is not like this picture. This picture taken from virtual information from the Har-Horon. So in the 13th century, 14th century, Har-Horon was originally like this. But you can visit Mongolia and Har-Horon city, but it's different from that time. This is a Silk Road founded from this during by Genghis Khan in 1022, and after that, Har-Horon became most important city for the Silk Road. How it was important for exactly for Silk Road? Har-Horon was a commercial and cultural interaction Eurasia in Europe and Asia. In this played the Mongol very important role. So it was a center for exchange of thoughts, ideas, and beliefs as a religion and in some kind of different kind interchange among different nations within Silk Road countries. I would like to say the Silk Road is it is a historical event, but there was positive outcomes of the Silk Road from that time. For example, during the Silk Road, the environment and how the people connected in local geographically connected now is still the continuity of the Silk Road network in the world. For example, protection environment and the people in the Silk Road learning about each other's culture and sense of global citizenship. And also in the astronomical field, for example, for our field, people familiarity with the night sky can motivate the participation from young people in the Silk Road region. And then also Silk Road also can contribute to develop interdisciplinary subjects such as traditional science, cultural, and mental exchange also. Here also continuity of positive Silk Road. For there is still happening activities for Silk Road in Mongolia. For example, Silk Road for tourism. People come and they experience nomadic culture and tourism opportunities, and also to conserve and protect nomadic heritage. Also conservation and environmental, historical and cultural heritage of Silk Road nations. So as we have only one country is still remain with nomads, so we can search this. So follow-up activities. So as I am outreach person and I do lots of activities. So Silk Road, among Silk Road, and then globally we do astroecology activity in the Gobi. Gobi was in the main part of Silk Road network, and we can do lots of activities in Gobi to turn it in green. So one of activities will be Silk Road network, in the Prem Silk Road network, astroecology workshop and activity next year. So if you interested in come to Mongolia, you can do Silk Road activity, and also daytime we will plant trees, and nighttime we will observe a visual and inspiration of high latitude Mongolian blue sky and the stars. Then this activity will be starting next year, May, in Mongolia. If you're interested, you can communicate with us, and welcome Mongolia. So, gracias.
Thank you very much. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you. I don't know if you, I believe that the next speaker is not connected. Hossein, are you here? I think it's not here, Hossein. Then I suggest that we continue with the next one speaker, Stavros Papamadinopoulos. I am sure
Yes.
that I said badly, but it is not my intention. Sorry, Stavros.
Stavros is here. Yes, he tested also his presentation before. Rosa, can you hear me?
Yeah, very well, very well.
Okay, just a comment to NASE Spain, the organizers. Please take care with the presentation to see it in full screen, please.
Yes, we have serious problem. We control that we are not a good way. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I hope that next time will be better. We know.
Well,
Thank
Stavros,
yes.
If you want, you can start and share. You are mute. Please open your microphone.
I would like to suggest that all the people that don't have to speak, please turn off the micros, okay?
Okay.
Now it's okay.
Thank you very much for the invitation. And those who organize NASE, they spend time, energy, and a lot of effort, and we are pleased to go to this seminar in a way that we exchange ideas and scientific ideas, which will help in developing the subject. Odysseus sailing with the stars is the Greek contribution on this subject. Odysseus left Troy after...
Sorry, Stavros. Are you sharing your screen?
I have followed what you told me.
Yes, but we
you don't
cannot
see it?
No, sorry.
So what shall I do again?
Yes.
Αύριο
Open
να
your
κάνεις
presentation
αυτό.
first.
I followed what you told me.
Yeah. Open your presentation.
Yes, it's opened.
Okay, now go to the Zoom.
To what?
The Zoom room. You have a screen for transmission.
Σταύρο, να πας στην οθόνη του Zoom και το πράσινο αυτό που είναι το share screen.
Ναι, αλλά δεν το βλέπω αυτό όμως τώρα.
Okay, close the presentation. Close the presentation.
Το share screen το είδε, δεν πας και θα δεις το πράσινο.
Βλέπω μόνο... Πώς θα πάω εκεί, αφού βλέπω μόνο τον εαυτό μου τώρα.
Κατέβασε και τώρα στο κάτω μέρος της οθόνης.
Ναι.
Και εκεί θα ενεργοποιηθούν τα... Τα είδες?
Όχι. Πώς πάνε τώρα, κοίταξε. Εδώ βλέπω τον εαυτό μου με ένα βελάκι. Hidden video.
Άνοιξε, βγάλε... Δεν έχει... Βλέπεις το μικρόφωνο και το βίντεο.
Ναι, βλέπω, ναι. Πού πάω τώρα για να βρω τα υπόλοιπα πράγματα.
Βγαίνεις τώρα λίγο πιο δεξιά και δεν κοιτάζεις τα άλλα κουμπάκια. Είναι το παρκίσιμο, το chat, το share screen.
Βλέπω όλα αυτά εκτός από το share screen. Hidden video, high video λέει. Mute. Το βλέπω το...
Το start video. Να το.
No.
Τι?
You must push the green button, share screen.
But I don't see the share screen.
Έχεις μεγάλη οθόνη του Zoom?
Μισό λεπτό και το βρήκα, μισό λεπτό. Ένα λεπτό λίγο. Share screen. Τώρα δεν φαίνεται?
You must push the screen that you want to share.
Okay. Τώρα?
Yes, yes, perfect.
Yes. Let's do it big one. Now you see it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We can see the presentation, but not in the full screen. I believe, press again the full presentation button at the bottom.
Ναι.
Το ποτηράκι να πατήσεις.
Ποτηράκι, αυτό το βλέπετε τώρα?
Don't worry, we can see very well. Don't worry. It's enough.
Ωραία.
Yes.
Okay.
Please, Stavros,
Okay.
you begin.
Okay. Thank you.
Here in Spain, we understand very thing and we can see very, very thing. Don't worry.
Okay. Now, Odysseus left from Troy after its fall in 1218 and 10 years later returned to his Penelope in 1207 BC. The dates are strictly astronomical. I'm not going into this detail because this is not the subject of this today's seminar, but this paper shows our way of thinking in dating Odysseus returning to Ithaca with astronomical means. It deserves attention, but in another meeting. And here is another paper, a new astronomical dating.
Excuse me, Stavros, because the slides are not changing.
I change them, but you don't see them.
No.
Oh.
You have to push the next one. Next one is slide.
Το επόμενο slide, να αλλάζεις τα slide. Αλλά αν μπορείς τώρα, Σταύρο, να το κάνεις μεγάλο, θα είναι πολύ καλό.
Πώς να το κάνω? Ναι, το ποτηράκι το πιέζω, αλλά δεν το παίρνει. Το πιέζω.
Ναι, αλλά κάνε... Εντάξει.
Δεν το παίρνει.
Άλλαξε την οθόνη τότε.
Τι να αλλάξει?
Άλλαξε τη διαφάνεια.
Αλλάζω, να την. Τη βλέπετε?
Δεν φαίνεται να αλλάζει τη διαφάνεια.
Τη βλέπετε?
Είναι αυτή που είναι άσπρο και
ναι,
με την Πινελόπη, έτσι.
Έφυγε από την Πινελόπη, έφυγε.
Συνέχισε, ναι.
Τι πρέπει να κάνω?
Δεν πήγε στο από κάτω slide.
Πήγα.
Να πατήσει ένα βελάκι και να πάει στο επόμενο slide.
Εδώ?
Να πάτα στο επόμενο slide.
Bravo, it's fine, fantastic. Very well.
Okay.
Good.
Now, I'm not going to discuss this astronomical dating. It requires a lot of time, and that can be done in another time. Do you see this, the new one?
Repeat again. This is the last one. The next one.
Okay, next one here.
Yeah.
This is another astronomical dating of the fall of Troy. And this will be discussed in another time when Rosa gives me instructions better in order to become more flexible and better in showing you these things without delays. Now, years BC, 10 years in Troy and 10 years of Odysseus' absence. There wasn't any common calendar within the royal Mycenaean kingdoms all over Greece. Therefore, Homer has chosen the concept of war year. In the first war year, it was 1227, 1226. The 10th war year was 1218, 1217. And the years were counting from spring to spring because battles were contacting when the climate was available. They didn't give battles during spring or during autumn or winter. The 20th year was 1208, 1207, and Homer says this excellent text: as he watched the Pleiades and late setting Votis, and the bear, which men also call the wain, which ever circles where it is and watches Orion. This is the information encrypted in the Odyssey. And the bear always is visible, circling in the sky. She's waiting in anxiety her hunter Orion to appear. In the case of Gibraltar, 1207 BC, 1st of October, 20.00 local time, the Ursa Major, or Megali Arctos in Greek, is shown. And indeed, Orion, her hunter, appears later at 22:030 local time. This, of course, is not only for Gibraltar, it is for the whole zone in which people could observe the sky. Pleiades move east, west, and Bootes northwest to northeast all night. The constellations are observed all night in the latitudinal width of the Mediterranean Sea. But these exact constellations could be observed in the same latitudinal width in the Atlantic Ocean. However, Bootes, non-capital small vita and non-capital small gamma, meaning Neckar and Seginus constellations, are not visible all night north of England's southern edge, meaning that Odysseus was not sailing northwards of that latitude. It is challenging enough to ask ourselves where was Calypso's location when she gave Odysseus in 1207 BC such a correct astronomical advice. We may ask our colleagues in Spain to find Calypso. Odysseus is sailing having to his left Ursa Major, Μεγάλη Arctos, as Calypso told him. The latter means west to east geographic direction. This is an excellent second type astronomical information for Odysseus to go away from Calypso to the east. Homer in the Odyssey says, "Oψέ δύο ταβότην." If you don't have a philologist to assist you to find the content and the power of this ancient Greek phrase, you miss the game. It means that the slowly moving to set Bootes never sets completely all night in 1207 BC. Now, in the left column, you see Palermo, 1207 BC. Local time, 10th of October. A quadrant, time, local time, 19. B quadrant, 21. The Bootes is visible in all its glory. The same day, at 23, Bootes exhibits only Neckar and Seginus, Vita and Gamma. Next day, 11th of October, always in Palermo, and this is applicable everywhere in the latitudinal width of Mediterranean and in the Atlantic. Next day, λοιπόν, 11th of October, 01 time. Vita and Gamma, Neckar and Seginus are still visible all night. It means that in the next day, 03 time, 05 time, quadrant E, quadrant F, Bootes is there, guiding Odysseus and the ancient Greek mariners all night. In the book, which has been written by Adamantios Samson, professor of prehistoric archaeology of Aegean University, in the Aegean, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic sailors in the Aegean in the Near East always were crossing all Eastern Mediterranean with the help.
Eu só estou a ouvir aqui uma coisa. Deus não está aqui. Então, como é que correu?
Somebody said something?
No, it was an open microphone. Go on.
Say, okay. And except the Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic period, meaning thousands of years before the prehistoric period, before the Mycenaean and the prehistoric Minoan period, meaning Peloponnesian and the Cretan prehistoric period, the mariners were going easily and were bringing goods, exchanging goods, ideas, crossing the Aegean and the Middle East. And prehistoric Greek mariners utilized astronomy, the Mediterranean Sea, in the Black Sea, in the European rivers, and in the Atlantic Ocean. In this paper, astronomical and mathematical knowledge and calendars during the early Helladic era in Aegean frying pan vessels. The frying pan is an unfortunate archaeological term, erroneous. This object was a portable mathematical, calculating astronomical and calendrical device from the many in the Aegean Sea. There are many in the Neolithic period, and they cross the prehistoric period as well. A Minoan eclipse calculator. This portable prehistoric mechanism of Palekastro from Crete was analyzed by the authors, and it was helping the prehistoric people, 14th century BC, first to know the eclipses, to predict eclipses, but also to calculate their latitude. It was a predecessor of the next Antikythera mechanism, 2nd century BC, which is an epitome of mathematical excellence and metallurgic excellence and organization. It was produced in Nature by the authors. It was an ancient Greek tablet with which you could do measurements and observations. Ancient Greek optical instruments and the Pharos of Alexandria. In this magnificent study, one can see information about lenses and mirrors, how they were used in microscopic measurements and possibly telescopic measurements. Unfortunately, when Schliemann found a big number of lenses and mirrors during his excavations in Troy, all this material was not studied properly. The Society for the Study of the Ancient Greek Mythology, which is left, you can see to the left the symbol of our society. It has Odysseus with the day of his arrival in Ithaca, shooting the suitors of his Penelope. Homer's Odyssey, named world's greatest tale ever told, because it has been written, it has been read by many people. With this, I end my presentation, and again, I would like to thank you for the invitation. I'm sorry, I do not know the Zoom very well, but next time I will know it.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. Thank you very much for your excellent presentation, and very touching, because I like a lot Odyssey. Homer's Odyssey is one of my favorite books on the planet. So no, and it's very interesting to see how there are antecedents, previous work for the Antikythera mechanism. because the people believe that Antikythera is a kind of magic product and is a consequence of a very long work of many people in Greece.
Exactly. You see the weather in Greece, it has many blue nights.
Mm-hmm.
People can watch freely and understand what is going on, and they use their many observations. They pass them orally from thousands of years, continuously from generation to generation. They were whole families devoted in astronomy from the Neolithic period into the prehistoric period. Therefore, astronomy illuminated Greek culture, and of course, astronomy illuminated the planet's culture.
Yeah, I agree. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Stavros, for your excellent presentation. Probably at the end, someone wants to make some questions, but now we are inviting the next speaker. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you a lot.
I would like to ask if the previous speaker, Hossein, is connected or not. Hossein, are you here?
I cannot see his name into the list, so
Okay.
probably he has problem.
I will
send
Iran,
it.
and Iran is in a very difficult situation now, as you know, and probably cannot connect, and this is the reason. I suggest to continue with the next one speaker, José Ángel Docobo, Universidad de Santiago. Welcome, José
Yes,
Ángel.
welcome.
Oh.
Good afternoon from Santiago de Compostela. I am José Ángel Docobo. I'm Emeritus Professor of Astronomy and Maths and Director of the Ramón María Ayer Astronomical Observatory of our university. It is a pleasure to talk during a few minutes about the relation about the Way of St. James and the Milky Way.
José Ángel, ¿puedes poner la pantalla completa?
Sí, vamos a ponerla, sí.
Okay, perfecto.
Okay. Santiago de Compostela is a very nice city. Moreover, its old town is considered as a cultural patrimony of humanity site. It is well known for both its academic and religious environments. Our university, the USC, is notable with a history that began in 1495. Our cathedral is one of the largest and most beautiful in the world. The Ramón María Ayer Astronomical Observatory pertains to the USC, and it is almost 80 years old. The center is very active in research, university teaching, and astronomical diffusion. Internationally, it is highly considered, especially in the areas of binary and multiple stars, as well as astrodynamics. I was president of the IAU Double and Multiple Star Commission from 2009 to 2012. For more details, please visit our website. Santiago de Compostela is known around the world due to the Jacobean tradition, which believes that the tomb of the Apostle Santiago is here. The pillars of The three pillars of the Christianity are Rome, Jerusalem, and Santiago de Compostela. Since 19th century, pilgrims from many European countries walk to Santiago de Compostela along the way of St. James. Camino de Santiago, in Gallego, Camino de Santiago. The way is currently a sociological event of the first order. More than 300,000 people a year come to Santiago de Compostela in order to pray at the tomb of Apostle Santiago in the cathedral. The majority of the pilgrims actually walk to Santiago in the same manner as in the ancient times. Today, there are several paths to Santiago de Compostela, but the main one is the French way, in blue in this slide, which enters into Spain via Roncesvalles in Navarra or Somport, Aragon, with both branches meeting in the small town of Puente la Reina. The journey passes through history towns such as Jaca, Pamplona, Logroño, Nájera, Burgos, León, Astorga, Ciacastela, Portomarín, Melide, Arzúa, finally arriving at the Cathedral of Santiago after 800 kilometers from east to west. It is interesting that along, this is the different ways in Galicia. It is interesting that along the way, there is a rich variety of Jacobean architecture. I am speaking about different churches, castles, constructions in relation with the way, etc. The pilgrims always prefer the summer because it is the best season to walk along the way. For this reason, they wake up before dawn to avoid the heat of the day. But what does this story have to do with astronomy? At dawn in the summer, the Milky Way is precisely located in the east-west direction, which is a very important guide for people walking to Santiago de Compostela. At that time, dawn in summer, the Milky Way indicates the direction to the tomb of the apostle. For this reason, in many texts, the way of St. James is also known as the Milky Way. Recently, I, with my team, have organized public astronomical sessions with the naked eye and with portable telescopes in many villages along the way, from Aragon and Navarra to Galicia, explaining the coincidence of the two ways, one on the earth and the other in the sky. In addition, by means of a research project, our intention is to minimize light pollution along the way of St. James. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Jose. And for the nice presentation. Always is a good thing to hear about Santiago Road. and the connections with our science, finally, with the science in general. And
Yes.
thank you very much. And
Thank you.
well, let's wait. Probably at the end we will close this session, this activity with the questions and answers about the different aspects of the determination of the roads on the planet, following different things and different ideas. Thank you very much.
I would like to mention that, we have an event here face-to-face with several teachers from different countries, from Romania, Mongolia, States, Greece, France. I am looking their faces in order not to forget.
Paraguay, I assume.
Italy, and also Philippines. That is the next one speaker, and Romania. We have repeated Romania. Okay. Try to explain to you what was they feeling, not how to calculate the latitude that all of you know, only they feeling, and they try to catch the feeling of our students and teachers in Spain. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We are so happy to be here in Viladecans with all our colleagues and with you all over the world. Yesterday, it was a special day because we met a lot of students here in Viladecans. We split in 5 groups, of course, and they came there and tried to determine the latitude, of course, but we couldn't, it was raining. Anyway, we showed them how to use the instruments, show them how to use a sundial correctly with a compass, of course, and the quadrant. We explained them how it works, how to make a quadrant, of course, and how to use the table with the declination of the sun. They worked there together in groups, and we want to show you some pictures from the event from yesterday. Thank you. Minus. Touch the minus, please. Yes. And now from presentation. This is presentation con diapositivas. Presentation con diapositivas. From the beginning.
Oh, yes.
From the Zoom, may we know what you are seeing from the Zoom?
We can see your first slide, latitude for traveling and navigate.
Mode?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's just in presentation mode. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Go to the next with the arrows, I think.
Okay. The next one, are you seeing the next slide? We are seeing 2 different things from the computer and the Zoom. Let us know if it's moving. No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Let us just
I think you should. What is this Zoom?
Can I just share everything then?
Yep, you're sharing everything right now. So your the only thing is if you say
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the beginning. Okay.
No. I'm being lost.
Now it's moving. Yeah.
It's moving?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Well, now is the second slide.
Now is the second slide. Okay, so I guess this would work.
Okay.
Okay, so We are, as introduced by Rosa earlier, we are teachers coming from different parts of the world participating in the NASE-UNESCO project, wherein we are to determine the latitude of Viladecans, okay, using the quadrants and the sundial. So the participants are from France, Greece, Italy, sorry, Lithuania, Mongolia, Paraguay, Philippines, Romania, Spain, and then from the United States, specifically from Utah. And then when we did the activity, we were doing it in 5 different places. It's Plaza de la Diversidad, Plaza de los Voluntarios Olímpicos, forgive me from the term, Plaza Constitución, Torrente Ballester, and then Plaza de la Villa. So this is the our actual places where we came from. No, it's not.
Just give me 1 second. No, don't worry. Let's
It will work. The problem is that you have transitions in the presentation, and if you
I've removed it already.
okay.
So let's go to see. We should
Is that?
yeah, let me see. But yeah, I know, but it's not working. Ya vemos. ¿Y ahora?
Now put it in presentation mode.
La ponemos en presentación.
Claro, porque
Un momento. When the
y
second,
que en Zoom no se ve igual que en vivo.
¿cambia?
No,
¿Lo
aquí
veis cambiar? ¿Sí? ¿Veis algunos países? Ok, third one, sorry.
pero no, pero en Zoom no está transmitiendo.
¿Zoom no está transmitiendo?
No, te veo a vos nada más. Bueno, ustedes. En Zoom no está compartida la pantalla. Ujú.
¿Ahora sí?
Ahora se ve, sí, pero
Pequeño.
no está en forma presentación, está en
No,
forma edición.
No vamos a poder verlo en presentación, Beatriz.
Ah, bueno,
porque es
listo.
necesario. ¿Lo ven cambiar?
Ahora cambió.
¿Ahora cambió?
Sí, va slide por slide en la barra de la izquierda, sí. Ok. Let's go. It's fine. Yes, Parque Torrent Ballester. Yeah.
But all the people here, they know. Okay. Okay, so let's continue. These are pictures of our group. So we are one of the 5 groups. We went to Parque Torrent Ballester. However, this was done yesterday, wherein we were unfortunate enough to have the rains full day. So we tried setting it up at the park, and then we moved to the.
Yes. Okay. Wait. Yes.
Okay. So we moved to the shade near the beside the atrium where we had the first session, or actually in our group we received about 5 groups of students. So the first group we did that beside the atrium over the shade, and me and my group mates shared the activity there. We tried doing the activity there, and since the rain was not stopping, we had to move to the school, wherein we had to go to the gym. Are we seeing the same thing?
They are all only in the first one.
How about the Zoom? What are we seeing? I'm losing.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Now is Institut de Sales.
Sí. Okay.
Slide number 6.
Sí. But
Yeah.
race, Institut de Sales, no.
Okay. Okay.
Next one.
Okay, so we have it here. We're in the institute where we went to the gym and then tried doing the activity again to the rest of the students.
No. Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect.
So they were doing the activities
Vamos a ver, hay que comprobar. Cierra el...
Atlantic. They discovered the South Sea. They call it the South Sea. They call. So these they know there are another sea on the other part, but they thought it was this new sea was short, not so large, as we know. And the great problem is the position at sea and the tools that we have, of course, a compass, nautical chart, a quadrant, how glasses, sun glasses, the astrolabes, and the log line, and astronomical tables. For example, this is an imagine of a perpetual almanac. And how do we get the position at sea? First thing, by an estimation. They estimate the course and the velocity, and they point the ship in the chart and get the position. But they can measure the latitude by the polar, as you know, you try to measure yesterday at the other hand, but it's easy, so you need only observe the altitude of the elevation of the polar, but also you can get the latitude by the sun or observing other stars. But the longitude was a very, really problem that was solved at the end of the 18th century when appeared the marine properties, because the longitude is a difference of time between one meridian to other. So they didn't really know where they are when in the middle of the sea. They don't know where they are. So the first thing was the Magellan expeditions. Then Magellan proposed first the Portuguese king an expedition in project, and then came to Spain and proposed to reach the island of the species from the west. They assumed the trip was shorter than the Portuguese route. And the objective of this expedition was three. First thing, find a road to the new sea. That means find a channel to cross America. Position the Moluccas Island, because they really don't exactly know if Moluccas is in the Portuguese part of the world or Spanish part. The yellow in this map part is the Spanish part with the Tordesillas women, and the pink part is the Portuguese. Nowadays we know Moluccas here in the Portuguese part, but in that moment they really didn't know exactly. When the fleet and the crew, 5 vessels, 239 men. In other tests appear 244 or even 250. Depends if take the number at Seville or at Sanlúcar. Because they stay at Sanlúcar 40 days waiting. Waiting why? Why they wait at Sanlúcar? This is this setup. This is a meal, go to the river and get Sanlúcar. Then why 40 days in Sanlúcar when the ship have food and water and so on? But really nobody knows exactly. But a theory is that Portuguese fleet was waiting because they suspect that the Spanish fleet go to the Moluccas, and then 40 days is the time to rise an agreement between Spanish king and Portuguese. Finally, they say that Moluccas can get in the Portuguese part, they don't get Moluccas at the end, and so on. Anyway, they depart from Sanlúcar the 20th of September in 19. Okay, the first part is crossing the Atlantic. An adventure begins. The adventure begins. This is this travel, but you can know very well the dates and so on. But really, the large etap was between Canary Islands to Rio de Janeiro. That was about 75 days in the middle of the sea. And after that, finally they discover they get the Cabo Verde here in October, the end of October, and arrive through the new sea that they call the Pacific in November, at the end of November. In this etap, the now Santiago was sinking in the Rio de la Plata, close to the Rio de la Plata, and when they discovered the Pacific Nam-San Body Research, with the excuse that they go back to Spain to translate the good news. A curiosity in this part is that mention that they say the compass went toward northeast, and this effect is represented in this map, in this figure. You can see the true north with the polar star, the Polaris, and the compass point out to the magnetic pole that is here, about more or less. At the beginning of the tree, the angle between both points is here, and when they say to the west, this angle goes to zero. The next, perhaps in this representation, you can see better. The north is always following the meridian, just the vertical lines in blue, and the red are the magnetic lines, the compass, the north of the compass, magnetic north, and the angle between both north, magnetic and true north, change depending in function of the longitude of the shadow. Okay, they rise the Pacific and then a new ocean, undiscovered and unexplored ocean. So they rise to the one island in the Marianas in March of 1521, after 3 months and 20 days without new provision of water. They drank decomposed water, they eat rats and so on. Terrible. A lot of ills, scurvy, because, you know, after 3 months without food, that was a problem. Arrived Viladecans Islands. In April, death Magellan in a battle. This is a representation. At Cebu, there are a trap, and the king of Cebu killed 26 men, and a new leader, Carvalho. The naval position was burned because there are not too much men to drive three vessels. López Carvalho was the mission. Gonzalo Gomez take the new leader, and in this moment, the 15th of August of 1521, Juan Sebastián del Campo was promoted to the captain of the now Victoria. Okay, I only want to mention three things. This one is the Moluccas Islands in the center of the circle. They load the ships with cloth. That's also very important. The Nautilus has problems and stay preparing, but the cannot continue perturbed. But nobody can assure exactly, but they know the large wave cross the Pacific and decide to go to the Portuguese route. Then the now Victoria departed from Tirole Island at the end of December of 1521. And my wife, okay, sorry, and my wife in San Luca in September, at the 1st of the September of 1522, with only 18 men. In the middle is the route in blue, trying to avoid the Portuguese route that is too close to the coast. In Good Hope Cape, try to get the coast, but they can't get the coast, so they can't get new provisions, follow the trip, arrive to Virgin Island, Cape Verde Island, sorry. Here they say to the Portuguese that he came from America, but stayed a couple of days, but finally the Portuguese discovered the trick, and he needs to go far away from the Portuguese and arrive to San Luca, let's say, on the 6th of September after 3 years, and finally Seville 8th of September. Almost 5 months without new provision of water. Imagine, it's like to eat a sugar, like chocolate. Okay, I won't only say the last thing, the mention. The dates are the end of the dates, but you know, after the trip, the Gregorian calendar changed. So nowadays, the 6th of September of 1522 don't correspond to a 6th of September nowadays, because there are 10 days, I think that I remember, I think 10 days that are not a 6th when we adopt the Gregorian calendar. That's all. Thank you very much.
Presentation. Thank you very much, Antonio. I also agree it's a kind of Odyssey.
That's true.
And just to know your opinion, what do you think about the TV show, the series about El Cano?
Well, I didn't see really, but
okay.
I know.
Me either, because I am afraid that the series will be bad and.
Yes, that's true. The general comment is that is a greater odyssey that they say, and there are some not exactly things. There is not realistic things.
It's better to read the history than to see the history in the television. Yes.
That's right.
Thank you. Well, it was a great description of a big and amazing challenge.
Yes.
I think it was a challenge. It was really and a crazy trip also.
Yes. I think. Sorry, I spend more time, but I think nowadays nobody go to that odyssey, that adventure, because they know that most of them didn't back again. 20, remember the numbers, more than 200, and back only 80.
Yeah. Probably when we travel to Mars.
Yes.
Nobody wants to back home.
But it is different because they were alone.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
They can
Of
say,
course.
oh, Houston, we have problems.
Yeah.
Houston is very far away. But they can imagine that maybe in Houston they do the same thing. The other people know that nobody was there.
Yes.
This is
I remember, they didn't know where they are. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Nowadays there is
Yes.
so,
Which
and
is
we have
amazing
jobs.
because it's amazing because the Earth planet is so small and they don't know where they are. What's incredible. Well, thank you very much.
I would like to mention that we have the other point of view, the Portuguese point of view. Okay? Everything is good. Okay. Then.
Thank you. Well, Rosa, if you want, we can follow with the next speaker.
Yeah. Well, we invite one of our colleagues in Portugal, Sofia Condesa. It is a person that worked many things about the history of Magallanes and Elcano. But I asked to her about the special thing that was the Tordesillas tribe, because it was in one moment Portugal and Spain decided to divide the world. This is for you, this is for me. But it was not discovered, be careful. It was very fantastic, the situation, absolutely. And I think that Sofia can explain us a little bit, no? About this fantastic history that it is better than the series that we have in some cases, okay?
Hello everybody. I will try to show.
Sorry, I forgot to say that Sofia. Historia, the Portugal, okay? Probably I pronounce very bad, but okay.
No, it's okay. It's good. Okay. I'm a history teacher, so if I make some mistakes about astronomy, I forgive myself in advance. And it was nice to speak after Antonio because he explained a lot of the difficulties that the seamen had at this time. So I'll start. In the first half of the 15th century, there was already a good knowledge about New Zealand lands, raising interest and rivalry between the Portuguese and the Castilians. The nautical charts from previous centuries already signaled islands to the west, while fishermen, traders, and pirates, whether Portuguese, Castilians, Catalans, or Italians, sailed the Atlantic and collected information about new places and riches. The Canary Islands were disputed by the Portuguese and Castilians for more than 100 years. In 1436, Pope Eugene IV eventually recognized Castile's right to the Canary Islands, which Portugal did not accept. Between 1474 and 1479, Isabel of Castile challenged the Portuguese monopoly of the African coast and seas by sending ships to trade in the Gulf of Guinea. Thus, the Portuguese crown redefined its priorities, and in 1479, the Treaty of Alcáçovas, that we see, was signed, which gave Castile dominion over the Canary Islands and the exploration of the seas north of these islands. To Portugal, the monopoly of the exploration of the seas south of the archipelago, including the coast of Africa, the islands of Madeira and the Azores. You see the line of the Alcáçovas. This is from one of our school books. The treaty would be ratified the following year in Toledo and in 1481 by the Pope. In the following decades, navigators in the service of Portugal or Castile and Aragon expanded Europe's knowledge of the world. One of the great objectives was to discover the sea route to India, either by circumnavigating Africa by the south or by sailing westward, not knowing that America existed. And even about this, about knowing that America was there are a lot of theories. The rules of navigation from the position of the sun were already known in the 13th century, as described in books such as Libros de Saber y Astronomía, compiled by King Alfonso X of Castile, and later the book Regiment of the Sun is mentioned in the Treaty of Tordesillas. Throughout the 15th century, Portuguese pilots improved astronomical navigation, sailing the Atlantic first by estimation, then by comparison of the heights of the North Star, establishing 7 diurnal positions of this star and preparing the book Regiments of triangle became a navigation that considered the latitudes, as well as the meridian height and the declination tables of the sun. Then came the book Regiment of Leagues, which allowed the calculation of the number of leagues sailed between two parallels. Catalogues of the declinations of stars and other practical rules were written. Astronomers, pilots, mathematicians, and cartographers contributed to the nautical science, such as Pedro Nunes, who studied ways to determine latitudes from the observation of the stars, and Don João Castro, who researched the Earth's magnetism. However, the expression of this information in cartography, resulting in part of empirical information of navigators and distorted by the use of an equal ruler of leagues in latitudes, led to deviations in the definition of longitudes, and hence errors in location and extent of territories, as well as influencing future discussions on the exact location of the line of Tordesilhas. There was more information about voyages along the African coast than about those to the north or west, because there were not many islands there, so less news. But the rumors of land to the west were more and more consistent. Sailors spotted birds, pieces of wood, or even land. Christopher Columbus offered to discover the sea route to India on behalf of King João II of Portugal, King John II, by sailing westward. But the Portuguese king refused this plan, knowing that Columbus' calculations about the size of the globe fell short of reality, and that the old crown, a pilot in his service, had already made great progress in exploring the African coast, being close to the passage from the Atlantic to the Indian Ocean by south. Thus, it was in the service of the Kings Isabel of Castile and Fernando of Aragon that in 1492 Columbus reached the Antilles. On his return, he docked in Lisbon, and soon King João II claimed the new lands, understanding that they would belong to Portugal under the Treaty of Alcáçovas. Preparing for the clash, the Portuguese king organized his armada and sent an embassy to King of Spain. In turn, Isabel and Fernando requested the intervention of Pope Alexander VI, who published the Bulla Impecaetera, dividing the world into two hemispheres by a meridian 100 degrees west of the Rosa of Cape, assigning for Portugal the exploration of the east and for Spain the exploration of the west. So it was, they were previewing the domination of the world even when they didn't yet discover all of it. After further negotiations, the Iberian kings agreed to draw up a treaty that safeguarded the interests of their kingdoms. Spain retained the lands discovered by Columbus, and Portugal reserved access to India. So on June 7 of 1494, delegations from Portugal and Spain met in Tordesilhas and agreed on a pole-to-pole line 370 leagues west of Cape Verde, line that divided the Atlantic Ocean in two halves. All lands discovered and undiscovered west of that line would belong to the King of Spain, and all to the east would belong to Portugal, which would come to encompass part of Brazil, as we see, and raising the hypothesis that it was already known by the Portuguese before 1500, the official date of its discovery by the European. The treaty would be confirmed by Pope Julius in 1506. The demarcation line of the areas of influence of Portugal in Spain was defined by politicians. Nobody, not even navigators with knowledge of geography and astronomy, knew exactly where the line of the treaty passed, since in the 15th century there was no way to measure longitude accurately. In fact, on the seas, the pilots, when navigating by compass, were using the magnetic heading, making an error corresponding to the magnetic declination of deviation, which they corrected with their experience, with the knowledge of sea currents and winds. Thus, the precise definition of meridians and distances in longitude became extremely difficult. The treaty established sending navigators from both countries and forming a joint commission to determine exactly where the line of the treaty passed. But both parties knew this wasn't likely. It indicated that this line should be established by wind directions and degrees of the sun in the North Pole. Anyway, even if it was possible to accurately define the position of the meridian of the Treaty of Tordesillas, this could only be a straight line from pole to pole, as the treaty established, on the surface of the Earth. But in the square charts, the dividing line would always be a curve, because the only straight meridian on those charts would be the reference point. In the 16th century, the Portuguese mathematician Pedro Nunes, with his partial charts, and the Belgian mathematician and geographer known as Mercator, would propose a first solution to this flaw based on cylindrical projection of the globe. The question of accuracy was not urgent, since in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean it would not make much difference. But when the first circumnavigation voyage took place between 1519 and 1522, launched by Fernando Magalhães or Magellan, a Portuguese in the service of the Spanish crown, there was a need to know where the line passed on the Pacific Ocean and whether the spice-producing Molucca Islands, Moluccas, as referred before, in present-day Indonesia, were located in the area that belonged to Portugal or Spain, and new prices occurred. The commissioners of Portugal and Spain met again in Badajoz and Elvas in 1524 to discuss again how to implement the Treaty of Tordesillas. The delegates, recognizing the lack of accuracy of charts and globes, proposed various solutions based on angular distances between the moon and the sun or other star, on lunar eclipses, or on an instrument which could record the time on the reference meridian, and thus, by time difference from there to the destination, determine the longitude. However, there was a lack of accurate instruments that could only be used in the 17th and 18th centuries, such as the octant, the sextant, or the ship's chronometer. The issue of the Moluccas was eventually resolved in 1529 with the purchase of the archipelago by Portugal, that later came to be confirmed that it belonged to it. These treaties were based on the principle of mare clausum, closed sea, according to which the navigation of the seas into the exploration of the adjacent territories would be exclusive to the Iberian states, which only had to agree among themselves which part would belong to each one, blocking navigation to other countries, seizing their vessels, or demanding taxes on their passage, fishing, or trade. The principle left out the ambitions and pretensions of other Europeans and did not consider the wishes of the peoples of the regions concerned. During the 16th century, this scenario changed. The French, English, and Dutch launched their voyages of exploration and openly challenged the monopoly of the Iberian powers. Later, between Portugal and Spain, the treaty became a mere formality, both in Asia and Brazil, as the Spanish settled in the Philippines and the Portuguese advanced into the interior of Brazil, far beyond the limits defined by the Line Treaty. The formal revocation of the treaty by Portugal and Spain, however, only happened in 1750. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. A nice presentation and a compliment of the previous one, I think. So, great. Well, Rosa?
Yes, I enjoy very much. And I have some questions, but I think it's better that we finish and after we offer the opportunity we have here more than 30 people, I don't know, 35, 40, and probably there are some questions also, okay? But what about if we finish, we invite the next speaker? I think it's better that you speak.
Okay, as you want, it's my pleasure, because it's the voice from the wall, the America, the wall in America. It was amazing to know that America was considered a wall. And the first contribution is from Mexico, is Rodrigo Esparza Lopez, from the Colegio de Michoacán. And the topic, the title of the presentation is the Mesoamerican Pegged Cross as a cultural device, an example of long-distance migration knowledge. So
Rodrigo, thank you very much to share your knowledge here with us. And
hello.
Hello. Yes, perfectly.
Perfect. Thank you very much. First, I would like to thanks to organizers to invite me, and then I would like to present this presentation, the Mesoamerican Packet Cross as a calendar device, an example of long-distance duration knowledge. Just a second, please.
Rodrigo, ¿puedes poner pantalla completa?
Está tratando.
Esto es lo que estoy tratando.
Okay.
Ahorita.
Well, first, I'd like to say that in Mesoamerican cosmology, the universe is a kind of different of other parts of the world. This scheme is how these societies divide his universe with the solstice and the equinox, but first with a central point, as you can see in this scheme, no? And each duration have a different color and a different kind. As you can see in the east, if it's from the fire, the side of the man. In the north, it's the duration of the dead, and to the south is the duration of the water, and to the west is the duration of the movement. And this kind of direction is applied in all of the societies in Mexico, in all societies in Mexico. And well, this is important to say because it have a very great relations with the packet cross as we are going to see. This is the archaeological site of Teotihuacan. This is one of the most important sites in Mesoamerican region. It began about 100 AD and disappeared more 600 AD. Next to this pyramid of the sun, in the 50s, they appeared some symbols like this. This is the packet cross, and that was very interesting because they appeared next to the pyramid of the sun. About 50 of these packet cross, and in the hills next to the archaeological site, they appear some other of these symbols. Investments of the archaeological site say that this kind of symbols maybe it's a guide to urbanize the city, but it's very interesting that it composed of 260 points. That is the base of the ritual calendar in Mesoamerican time. And in other investments, they say that it has the oriental north, south, east, and west, but they have a different degree of 13 degrees from the magnetic north. And in other sites, they appear this kind of packet cross, But if you can see in the map, there are travel in different directions in Mesoamerica. At the south, to the Mayan culture, in Oaxaca, they discovered two of these kind of picket cross, more than 500 kilometers from Teotihuacan. And to the north, they appear others in the west part of Mexico, and to more north in Chihuahua, more than 700 kilometers from Teotihuacan. This is very interesting because this knowledge began to travel to other cultures in time that Teotihuacan disappeared. Many people think that people from Teotihuacan start traveling in these regions to make other cities, or to make the possibility to travel this knowledge to the other cultures. And in these investments in all Mesoamerican region, we have a record of more than 250 picket cross in record. No? And there are more than 100 archaeological sites that appear the picket cross. This there are different kinds of picket cross discovered in archaeological sites, as you can see in this presentation. There are some that are in circles. One of these are squares, others have some cross, and others that have a combination of other petroglyphs with the picket cross. No? So it is something that it was appropriate with from the cultures, from many kind of cultures, to make this calendar some of the important of his cosmogony. One example of these archaeological sites that have many of these picket cross is named Presa de la Luz in the part of West Mexico. This is one of the archaeological sites that we are exploring since 2010, and then in this archaeological site, they appear more than 20 picket cross in the site. This is very interesting because it's one of the most important sites that have this number of picket cross, maybe outside the archaeological site of Teotihuacan. We are in the West Mexico part, in the region the name is Altos de Jalisco. It's the north part of the state of Jalisco. It's about 500 kilometers from Teotihuacan. In this site, they appear these petroglyphs, as you can see. We name the planchon principal, that is a great wall of petroglyphs with two picket cross inside. In this map, you can see the two picket cross, one here, another here, and a lot of other symbols. That is another tradition, a local tradition of petroglyphs. So it's very interesting here because they have a relation with foreign symbols and symbols of local symbols that its relations with all, no? So it's interesting that some of these contributions of moraine symbols, it's appropriate with they are appropriate with the local symbols, no? We have a lot of Beckett Prof, as you can see. Many of them they are in the same way of Teotihuacan, and it's oriented north, south, east, west. This is very interesting because next to the points of the Beckett, there are another symbol inside that you can see this. Many of these Beckett cross is all around and another archaeological site. The name is Los Agaves in Spanish, and we consider that the position of this is important because there are more at the east and more of in the west. So we consider that they use this not only as a calendar device, they use this Beckett cross to make some measures in the solstice and the equinox time. No? So this is a tradition that began in Teotihuacan, and it was appropriate with in other cultures, as you can as in West Mexico too. In this photograph, you can see that sunrise view in the equinox in 1998, and it's exactly the orientation when the sun goes up and the reflect of the first rays of the sun in the first line of the Beckett cross. So it's with this we affirm that the orientation of the Beckett cross is the same with the equinox in this part. No? This Beckett cross is in another archaeological site in Michoacan state. The name is Quiringuichabe. And in the Presa de la Luz archaeological site, we made other measures in the equinox in 2018, where the equinox made some shadows to the other petroglyphs next to the Beckett cross. That's why we consider that the planchon principal maybe is a cosmogonic map that represents not only the equinox, the two solstices in this part of the planchon. As you can see, the shadows part goes exactly in the middle of the Beckett cross. No? Well, but something that is very important to say that where is the other Beckett cross discovered? There are some groups in Mexico that appear this kind of Beckett cross. In West Mexico, we have a lot of them. Some of them are at the north, and as a Chihuahua state. More of them are in central Mexico. They're here in Teotihuacan, or there are other archaeological sites that present it. To the south, next to the state of Oaxaca, and in the Maya culture, there are others. No, so there is very interesting that how this knowledge travel hundreds of kilometers, and was a very important part of the device of the calendar in each cultures. And then, well, we have some routes of searching for how they made this travel. The part of the West Mexico next to the central of Teotihuacan, they traveled from like a guide with the rivers in this part. No? They use the rivers to go up to the north, and then they go to the central part of Mexico that have a lot of valleys, and goes up and up to the north. Something that is more interesting that in this part of Mexico they have some travels with the turquoise. The turquoise is some minerals very important because the color and the characteristics of this rock was very appreciated for the Mesoamerican cultures. So they goes the picket goes up, but the turquoise goes in the same guide to the south. No? So it was interesting that this knowledge and commodities goes up and down. No? Well, finally, we have to say that this investment is in the beginning. We are trying to search more sites that appear other packet cross, and we have some notes about other symbols that accompany the packet cross. Like you can see, there are some spirals. There are other points inside the packet cross that we don't know exactly what they know or express with other symbols. No, so it's very difficult to say right now. But something that is interesting to know is that there are in all the packet cross, they have the same pattern of 2060 points, and the orientation is the same. But in some regions, they are a little different with the symbols. No? But finally, well, we are trying to know more about this. But it's interesting that this topic of packet cross is all around the Mesoamerican region. Thank you very much, and I hope that was very interesting for you.
Okay, nice. Well, I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. It was really nice. And just a little question before the next and last talk. Is something in the oral tradition about this?
Not exactly. In the Aztec time, there are something very similar. That it's another cross that is the name is Patoli, but it's a game. It's a little game that it's another cross. People when they discover this Pepe cross, they like to say that it's like a game, no? That move a little rock in each packet, no? So, but it's very different. Maybe in the Aztec time, they appropriate the orientations that it's very similar, but in this part that it's about 400 years of difference, it's another thing. You know?
Okay, thank you. Well, here we are in the last talk and the last moment. We are a bit late, but it's my pleasure to invite Mauricio Giraldo. He's from Colombia. We must say that in Colombia we gave our first NASE course in 2010, a long time ago. And I don't know if Ricardo Moreno is between the public there. I saw him in the photos, but Ricardo, Rosa, and myself visit Colombia for the first formal NASE course. And well, Mauricio was one of our first contact. And today he will talk about what happened to the north, the Cochi or Coqui constructions of the Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta in Colombia, of course. And thank you very much, Mauricio, to be here. I hope you can open your microphone. It's open.
¿Me escuchan?
Yes, very good.
Perfecto. Bueno, muchísimas gracias por la invitación a Beatriz, a Rosa, nuevamente qué gusto verla. Sí, esperamos tenerla nuevamente pronto por acá en Colombia. Para mí es un placer estar en esta presentación y más escuchando a todos los expositores con temas muy interesantes. Y pues digamos que esta charla surge de una conversación que tuvimos con Beatriz y dijo, oye, me parece interesante que cuentes eso. Además, les doy el agradecimiento a todos ustedes y tal vez disculpas a los demás que lo voy a hacer en mi lengua, ¿sí? En español. Entonces, mil disculpas para los que no lo conocen. Voy a compartir la pantalla.
Just a comment for the rest of the public. Mauricio will speak in Spanish, which is the language we talk in America. In general, we talk in America. Also, there are Brazil speaking Portuguese, of course. And we are talking about Latin America, of course. And can you, Mauricio, podés?
La opción que tengo no me permite, pero vamos a ver qué hacemos.
No sé por qué no ves el botón verde de compartir.
Sí lo tengo, pero no me permite abrir el escritorio. Vamos a ver.
Voy a revisar, pero tenés todas las...
Me están viendo algo de las preferencias del sistema. Ya, permítanme un segundo que ya lo soluciono.
¿Tus diapositivas están en castellano también?
Sí. Y vamos a ver si ahora sí lo dejó, porque me está diciendo que cierre y vuelva y abra. Ok, ahora sí. Bien. ¿Listo?
Okay.
¿Se ve?
Sí, perfecto.
Ok. Bueno, mi charla habla de qué sucedió con el norte, qué ha pasado con el norte, y tiene que ver con un trabajo que realicé durante mi trabajo final para optar como maestro de docencia de las ciencias naturales. Como ya lo decía Beatriz, vivo en Bogotá, Colombia, y mi trabajo está relacionado con una comunidad que digamos, no se conoce tal vez mucho en otros lugares, se conoce mucho de pronto los muiscas, que es más reconocido como grupo cultural, como grupo étnico la región de Colombia, pero digamos que existen una gran variedad, muchísimas otras etnias en el país. Una de ellas es la comunidad Kogi, o Kagawa, como se definen ellos, que viven en la Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, está ubicado en la parte norte, ¿sí? Muy cerca de seguramente un sitio turístico que todos podemos reconocer de Colombia, que es Cartagena, por todo su tema histórico. Esta está ubicada en el departamento de El Magdalena, cuya capital es Santa Marta, también un sitio hermosísimo, y se encuentra en uno de los lugares que se llama la Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta. La Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta tiene uno de los picos más altos del país, el Pico Colón, y en este lugar de más o menos 21.000 kilómetros cuadrados conviven 4 comunidades de la comunidad Kagawa, que son los Canguabo, los Iku y los Wiwa y los Kogi. Digamos que están estas 4 comunidades. Ellos, a través de todo su tiempo, han desarrollado y construido un conocimiento que ellos no denominan conocimiento ancestral, sino que lo reconocen como un conocimiento vivo, es decir, es un conocimiento que actualmente se sigue usando, es empleado por la comunidad, pero pues cada vez está mucho más impactada por el tema de los colonos y el tema de la cultura occidental que también convive en este espacio. Esta comunidad puede estar en este sitio, que no es un sitio fácil de acceder, digamos que ha mantenido cierta distancia frente a esos elementos culturales, aunque no niegan la posibilidad, no niegan el poder compartir ese tipo de conocimientos, es entrar en diálogo de ese tipo de conocimientos, el occidental y sus propios conocimientos. Vamos a ver, sí. Bueno, ¿de dónde parte todo esto? Digamos que parte el tema de la cosmovisión que tienen ellos del mundo. Al estar ubicados ellos en la Sierra Nevada de Santa Marta, con ese pico alto, la construcción que han desarrollado en el mundo, su cosmovisión, es a partir de la madre tierra, quien a través del uso, que es un artefacto que se emplea para hilar la lana, ¿sí? para hacer hilos de lana, digamos que considera que el mundo es en forma cónica y que este mundo en forma cónica tiene un reflejo que es el lado, pues no es exactamente el negativo y el positivo, digamos que esa sería la interpretación que nosotros haríamos, sino que hablan ellos del mundo de arriba y el mundo de abajo, ¿sí? Entonces estos mundos de arriba y de abajo están divididos en regiones, y cada región, cada mundo tiene una particularidad y tiene unas características importantes dentro de su cosmovisión. Y lo mismo el mundo hacia abajo, ¿sí? No es que sería la interpretación que se podría dar, que puede ser cercana pero no es exacta, que no es ni es el cielo ni el infierno, ¿cierto? Lo superior y lo inferior, sino como esos dos elementos que conviven, ¿cierto? En el desarrollo en esta cosmovisión que tienen acerca del mundo. Me permití colocar un texto. Este texto me parece interesante y es porque desde la perspectiva que ellos tienen del mundo, el mundo está en relación continua, todo está conectado, ¿sí? No hay una diferenciación como hacemos nosotros entre astronomía, lo biológico, lo vivo, lo inerte, no, todo está en una relación, en una conexión y tiene una particular importancia el sol.
I would like to mention that in the chat you have a short explanation in English about the speaker is saying, okay? This is the chat that you have, okay? Sorry, perdona, Mauricio, sigue, perdona.
Ok. Entonces, por favor, un poco más despacio. Muy bien, entonces, digamos que cuando ellos están realizando una de sus construcciones, una casa o un habitáculo, un espacio que, digamos que los antropólogos que han estudiado esta comunidad llaman templo, que tampoco es correctamente la descripción, pero digamos que es lo más cercano que tenemos a ese habitáculo, a esa vivienda que ellos construyen. Digamos que todo esto se tiene en cuenta, no solamente el sol, sino el bosque, los pueblos, los hombres, los animales, lo negativo, ahí hay una cosa que es el diablo, que no necesariamente es eso, y la cabeza y el cuerpo, y finalmente el corazón de la piel. O sea, hay una relación en cada uno del quehacer que tienen en su vida, es una cosmovisión que les permite a ellos habitar el mundo y vivir el mundo. Entonces, el ejercicio que realicé y de donde, pues digamos, se basó mi trabajo, era cómo es la orientación o cómo orientaban ellos estos espacios que construyen en la comunidad, ¿sí? estas habitaciones, llamémoslo de esa manera. Entonces, para ellos es importante, por ejemplo, ubicar el centro, y a partir de ese centro, el mama o mamo, que es el sabedor de la comunidad, que tiene toda la experiencia, ¿sí? y que ha sido reconocido por la comunidad como la persona que tiene los conocimientos que orienta a esa comunidad, este mamo ubica un lugar especial en el territorio. En ese lugar especial clava una vara, ubica una vara, ¿sí? Y a partir de una cuerda que se puede ver en la parte superior, ahí en el piso un poco, esa cuerda, a partir de esa cuerda que está con nudos, determina el tamaño de esta habitación, de este lugar, ¿sí? Y traza un círculo utilizando esto. Luego, en el poste central, ¿sí? En un momento clave en el que sale el sol, ¿cierto? Que es el inicio del año COVID, ¿cierto? Este palo central produce una sombra que proyectada corta el círculo en este punto, ¿sí? En el amanecer, y lo mismo, el sol al ubicarse al otro lado en el atardecer, el poste corta, la sombra corta el círculo en la parte superior. Entonces tenemos ahí ya dos puntos que son claves para ellos. Lo mismo ocurre en otro punto, otro momento especial del año, ¿sí? Donde el sol ya se ubicaría en este lugar. Nosotros llamamos a esto los solsticios, ¿sí? Y en estos momentos de los solsticios es que se definen esos puntos. El año comienza para nosotros, para ellos, el día que para nosotros es el 21 de junio, ¿sí? Ese es el año COVID. El año no se divide en 12 meses, tiene una división particular, incluso no es una división de carácter simétrico, ¿sí? Tienen divisiones de acuerdo a las relaciones que tienen ellos con el entorno, el tema de la naturaleza, el tema de sus cosechas. Pero digamos que el calendario no necesariamente es un calendario como nosotros lo conocemos. Entonces, con estos dos puntos, con estos 4 puntos, definen ellos lo que llaman las 4 esquinas del mundo. Las 4 esquinas del mundo, ¿sí? De esas 4 esquinas del mundo marcan 4 fogones que son importantes. Esos fogones son donde se ubican 4 entidades, ¿sí? 4 entidades espirituales que son los que hijos de la madre tierra, o sea, hijos de la creadora para ellos del universo. Muy bien. Entonces, de estos 4 puntos ya empiezan a ser un cercado, ¿cierto? Otros 2 puntos interesantes son estos 2, que es cuando el sol entra durante el equinoccio, ¿cierto? Y se oculta durante el equinoccio. Entonces, durante los equinoccios están estas 2 que son las entradas a la casa. ¿Sí? Digamos que eso es básicamente la construcción que hacen. Como pueden ver aquí, digamos que no es necesario, para nosotros entenderlo sí, pero digamos que para ellos no es necesario que existan estos 4 puntos cardinales que conocemos normalmente, ¿sí? Norte, sur, este y oeste. No aparece dentro de su descripción. ¿Qué es lo que sí se ha hecho? Se ha hecho y es que en 1977 el señor Gerardo Reichel Dolmatov, un antropólogo, hace el estudio de esta comunidad, ¿sí? Y cuando hace el estudio de esta comunidad define la manera en la que construyen el templo, y esa manera en la que construyen él, que llama el templo, entonces lo define como el oriente, el occidente, las dos puertas, ¿sí? El noroccidente, suroccidente, sureste, noreste, y aparece el norte y sur, ¿sí? Que, digamos, primero tiene una serie de implicaciones esa interpretación que se hace. O sea, el norte y el sur no aparecen porque estas comunidades son unas comunidades que trabajan desde lo práctico, ¿sí? Desde su relación con el entorno y desde la pertinencia que tienen para ellos ese conocimiento. El norte y el sur, considero, son puntos completamente artificiales. Tal vez en latitudes muy al norte, como lo veían en algunas de las presentaciones, o muy al sur, digamos que las estrellas pueden marcar perfectamente eso porque hay una característica, y es que al parecer todas rotan alrededor de un punto. Digamos que eso puede ser llamativo en términos de las comunidades. Pero en estas latitudes donde, por ejemplo, en Bogotá la polar está casi cerca sobre el horizonte, ¿sí? Ese determinar que los objetos giran alrededor de ese punto no es tan claro, ¿sí? Otra forma de definir el norte es a partir de la brújula, pero sigue siendo un punto que es una construcción abstracta, es una construcción teórica, ¿sí? Entonces, a mí me parece que por eso aparece el norte. ¿Por qué se perdió el norte? Porque considero que en estas latitudes no es importante tener en cuenta el norte. Otro elemento que aparece acá es que el señor Dolmatov muestra cómo aparece noroccidente, noreste y noroccidente, ¿sí? Noreste y nororiente y noroccidente, que son los puntos en donde se encuentran nuestros cuatro fogones, que tampoco es cierto. Si nosotros nos apegamos a la forma en la que se construye estos elementos, esto está más cercano, el punto de salida está más cercano al este y el punto de puesta está más cercano al oeste, lo que significa que el sistema no es un sistema ortogonal, como sí aparece aquí en el dibujo, sino que es un sistema no ortogonal, ¿sí? Una forma de definir el norte, lo trabajamos mucho en la escuela, es que nosotros ubicamos nuestra mano derecha hacia la salida del sol y miramos, extendiendo nuestra mano, nuestra cara queda mirando hacia el norte, ¿sí? En la latitud del norte, sí, y muchos de los textos que tenemos acá están pensados de esa manera, ¿cierto? En el caso de esta construcción no ortogonal, digamos que ese tipo de estrategia no funcionaría porque digamos que no hay una perpendicularidad que alguno de estos puntos contenga. Entonces, digamos que el norte me parece que es un elemento que se ha puesto, se dispone en ese lugar como una manera de poderlo interpretar, pero que no corresponde exactamente a la interpretación, y es a veces ahí donde tal vez no se hace mucha distinción cuando se presentan este tipo de estudios. Otro elemento que aparece es que para ellos existen tres puntos adicionales importantes, que son el centro, el arriba y el abajo, que tampoco corresponden al senil y al nadir, porque senil y nadir corresponden a una concepción de un mundo diferente a la que tienen ellos. Para ellos es el arriba y para ellos es el abajo. Entonces, digamos que esa sería otra interpretación que habría que tener cuidado. Y finalmente, como dato curioso, ¿cierto? Para ellos el Sol, en el transcurso de su movimiento, digamos lo que desde el solsticio, yo no los llamo ni de verano ni de invierno, porque aquí en Bogotá, en Colombia no tenemos ni veranos ni inviernos tan marcados, a veces aparecen en la mañana y otras veces aparecen en la tarde, de manera indistinta, ya sea a través del año. Entonces, más bien, en uno de los solsticios que correspondería al 21 de junio, el Sol cuando sale y se pone, ¿sí?, en esta trayectoria, a lo largo del año se irá moviendo, luego aparece en el punto sale por el oriente, se pone por el occidente, sigue en movimiento y finalmente llega al otro solsticio, donde nuevamente camina y se regresa. Entonces, para ellos el Sol está tejiendo en el cielo. El telar que ellos utilizan es un telar de forma cuadrada como representación de ese movimiento que tiene el cielo. Entonces, Digamos que esto me lleva a mí a pensar que hay otra manera en la que podemos abordar los estudios de los conocimientos de las otras comunidades, que yo lo defino la astronomía cultural. No es exactamente tu astronomía, no es arqueoastronomía, ¿sí? Sino que es una forma de reconocer el conocimiento de las otras comunidades, entendiendo un elemento que es fundamental, y es que no podemos comprender todo lo que ellos dicen debido a que nos movemos seguramente en lógicas diferentes. Entonces, pues este era un poco el aporte que quería compartirles. Agradezco muchísimo la invitación y muchísimas gracias.
Oh, thank you, Mauricio. Is because I was writing a short summary of your words in the chat to finish. It remains the last line. The idea is that the people has a different vision of the world, and the interpretation through the Occidental meaning and Occidental minds sometimes is not correct because we try to force the interpretation to those things that we know and are completely different in these communities, these people. And as Mauricio mentioned, in America, there are a lot of communities, different communities with different approaches to the nature. And cultural astronomy finally is trying to interpret and to determine how they think, not how ourselves are thinking. In this role, we are trying to establish these bridges, these links to a better communication and to recognize that the knowledge from America and from other parts of the world are not exactly the Occidental knowledge. And this is the idea in cultural astronomy, to try to understand exactly what the people want to transmit and in which way use the sky and the nature in general to organize their lives. Okay, more or less. More or less. Well, I'm sorry because my mistakes, I don't know, I write too soon, and but I believe that it's important to try to understand each other. And one of the problems of the inclusion is that we speak different languages, and sometimes we have not access to very interesting topics and discoveries and studies and research, just because we don't speak a common language. Thank you, Mauricio, for enlarge our mother language and mother tongue, which is the Spanish finally. But here in America, there are more than 100 of different languages also. Some of them we don't know how to interpret these languages. Some, well, we try. Well, that's all. Thank you very much.
I think that this is the same situation in all the world. In Africa, there are many languages. So, of course, we try to solve
even in Spain, Rosa, even in Spain, back in Argentina, we try to say that we speak Castellano and not Spanish, because in Spain there are more than one language. So the language we speak in America is Castellano, Castilian, in fact.
Well, we are right. Always we are right. Doesn't matter. But we said.
But the people is here, Rosa. In YouTube, I don't know. I am not following.
I have people here, and I would like to offer the opportunity that we say at the beginning. If there are some questions, maybe any questions, or in internet, online.
I have questions.
Yes.
Yes. I found highly interesting the two last speakers from Latin America. Maybe we have difficulties in languages, but we don't have difficulties in science. And if science is applied correctly, we can communicate and start approaching the problem. For instance, I would suggest for the pre-last speaker from Mexico, if he is able to do microgeophysics in a grid above these engraved petroglyphs, because he might get a surprise. What is the geomagnetic field, the gravity field, the electric field, or even the electromagnetic field expressed in the environment of these petroglyphs? Because if he gets this information, then his interpretation will be from astronomy to astrogeodesy and then to astrogeophysics. All three have a common part, which is astro. Therefore, I recommend detailed grids and geophysics, which can easily be applied in these environments. If he has 4, 5, 6 different geophysical maps, then more insight in these petroglyphs he has discovered, and others have discovered too. Now, in connection with the last speaker, I was trying to find Greek words in his speech in order to understand what he was talking about. And I found some Greek words. And more or less, I understood the general idea. He's talking in another level what he's talking, because he introduces into the world of sciences other types of way of thinking, which require carefulness. For instance, I would recommend a part of geophysics in this way he communicates his findings, to use the biofield imaging software, which he can install in a good type of camera and take photos in this sub-energies spectrum. The electromagnetic spectrum is not only the light we see, it has infrared, it has the ultraviolet, and so on. But if he uses this biofield imaging software, he can add information in what he's looking for. And maybe he can see subtle energies emanated in different times of the year, in different geographic directions. Many enigmatic readings exist in Greece, in Italy, in England, in France, of subtle energies in the way our ancestors were establishing not only the way to orientate themselves in the cosmos, but also in linking the particular site with the cosmos. This link-up requires attention, and these ideas of the last speaker can be completed if he applies these two types of procedures.
Very interesting. I am watching more than one screen. And yes, you are talking about the interdisciplinary, in fact, interdisciplinary studies. and this idea, mainly in these areas not very well known from the past. And I read something from Greece in this sense, and perhaps the same studies must be done in all the parts, all the work where we discover this kind of register, right?
Yes, indeed. And I would like to add something which we do, we're going to start to do in Greece, studying the ancient medical places, in which astronomy, we start always with astronomy, because it is the basis of all the cultures. And then we go to astrogeodesy, and then we go to astrogeophysics, but then we go to biomedicine. For instance, many times people go to various ancient places and they say that they feel wonderfully in this. If this is not a subjective feeling, we need to test this, because we complete our knowledge. If you have statistically important 30 people, 32 people, 16 females and 16 males, and you measure them by means of biophysics, various parameters, before they enter in the ancient medical place, which can be anywhere in the world, and then you let them there for 1 hour, and you remeasure them, not only by means of biophysics, but also by means of biochemistry, taking saliva and a small sample of blood before and after staying 1 hour, then you can get real interdisciplinary science in which we can agree. We may not be able to talk in the various dialects in Spain or in Greece or in Mexico, but in science we are going to talk on measurements, procedures, statistics, and then we are going to have an avenue of agreement.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Rosa, any question from the people there in Viladecans?
Well, I have one question they asked to me, because of course I said that all this will be in the YouTube, the channel of YouTube of NASE. You can listen, but some people asked me if it was possible to have the PowerPoints of the speakers and to put these PowerPoints in one place, that in order that people can obtain the information there and maybe to use in their classes or something like that. Then I think it is a good suggestion that maybe we can use in our website. We put, I don't know where, but we inform you, because this is a new project that we have, NASE Plus. That is a set of this kind of online connections in the future, and we have to plan a little bit more with Beatriz, because we are very creative, both of us. And then when we begin to talk by WhatsApp, it is very dangerous, because we create many ideas, and after we have to say, oh, well, how we do it? Yes, and then we plan something like this, okay? Then I have one announcement, very important for all of you. You can not live without to know that my information that I give after the question of Magda Stravinsky, because she wants to ask something, and after Magda, for finish the session, I want to inform you about a very interesting thing. I prefer don't say now, because I think, okay.
Okay. First of all, I have to thank all of you, especially to Rosa, to Beatriz, for organizing such interesting seminar. It was an interdisciplinary seminar that you connected the history with astronomy, and I suppose it's very interesting for teachers as well as for students. And I suggest to you, if it would be possible, to organize a similar seminar on the problem of the the longitudinal course was also very important and very difficult problems of the speed. And for instance, very few people know that we had in Romania, in West Transylvania, meridian 0, and it was used by Columbus, by Tycho Brahe, by Kepler, during the 15th century, 16th century. Another problem, another topic of such how to say, seminar will be, for instance, the Struve geodetic area in Norway, which was introduced now, is protected by UNESCO. So there are a lot of topics, and concerning the, how to say, well put all this presentation, I suppose if you put a topic of the, how to say, the title of this seminar, you could introduce the lectures, another one longitude, another lot of lectures, and so on. And we have to be always to keep the focus. Why? Because due to the pandemic, we have the opportunity to how to say, to be together, to have a long journey around the world. And thank you for all of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Magda. I am sorry because we have later. I know that the Stavros want to make a question of probably a comment, but I would like to say to Stavros, please, very short, because it is very late and especially we have space here that we have to, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you about the PowerPoints. You organize it and tell us where to send them.
Okay,
all of them are very interesting.
I will do it. I will do it. I don't know how, but I will do it, okay? But I have a special news for you, okay? Willie, we have a new website, on NASE website. A very beautiful website that you can see. And this is the event that we have a special for today, okay? Remember that in 500 years, we have a special celebration, like El Cano, it's the same, okay? That this is the new website. I don't want to explain one by one the details of the website because I prefer that you discover, okay? Well, in this moment it's active and everything I think is solved. English and Spanish. And all the rest of languages that you know that we have in NASE. We have, I don't know how many, but you put here the list. But if you continue, go down, there are more, okay? Well, there are some links that they are not active in these other languages, okay? But we promise you that we plan to finish in a couple of weeks or maybe at the end of October, okay? But it will be absolutely finished. Well, absolutely finished that we have now in the old ones, okay? And after, of course, with your help, because you have to work for this, we will continue and increase the information. And in one place, I don't know where, we put the PowerPoints of we used it today. I learned many things. It wasn't possible for me to ask questions because I understand that it's too late, but I would like to read slowly, and probably after that I have questions for people. Maybe some of them we try to solve in future edition of the NASE Plus, or in future editions of NASE UNESCO projects, okay? In any case, I want to say that thank you very much to all the speakers, and I will ask to all of them for the PowerPoints, and probably maybe we ask something more in order to help us for future editions of this adventure that is NASE in astronomy and NASE in culture, okay? Then thank you to everybody, thank you to all the countries that they are here. They have to take a plane, they have to spend many hours in the airport, you know that it is not very nice. And some of them, they have serious problems with the visa, I would like to recognize the work of many people that is connected now. For instance, I see Pete, I saw before Mamadou. There are others that they try to obtain the visa, but it was not possible for them to have the visa time, okay? I hope that next time they can participate here face to face or in another different place. I can see now, Antonio Patos, I want to talk with you about the magnetic declination, because you show us a special map that I want to talk. But well, in any case, thank you very much to everybody. And Beatriz, you are the chair and you finish the session, okay?
Just if the people can turn on the cameras, I will take a photo from Zoom, a global photo.
I would like to ask to the people that they stay here, can you maybe stand up? Maybe it's better because we have a big table in front of us. I don't know. Will it
Give me a moment because I am trying to have it in a full screen also. We have two screens, so anyone who can turn on. Hello, Vivo, how are you? And
from Tokyo Science Festival.
and saw me, and I know that people from Iran has several problems.
Someone,
I see.
Yes, because the people don't see you, sit down, okay?
I don't know who is with 10, but
I don't know. There are people that they are here.
I'll take a couple of green screens.
Okay.
Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I have a problem. As usual.
Don't worry. The green screen always is a problem. But you won't never use it. Okay.
Wait a minute. I need to take two.
I say that they stand up again. Or not?
Yeah, again.
Please, again. Yes, say bye.
Great. Say fast. Wait a minute. Now the second screen.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay, pass the second one screen. Okay.
Yes, it's ready. It's ready. I just took the photo. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
just to say goodbye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
See you next time.
Goodbye.